MSB here, and it's time for another serious sneak peek. Today we'll be in the game Ascension Online. In my last video, I looked at the interface and basic set of cards. Today I'll be jumping into a match with the first expansion of cards, entitled Return of the Fallen. Now, as I mentioned previously, Ascension Online is in closed beta, so please keep in mind that many elements will see vast improvements prior to release. Personally, I can't wait until the hard difficulty for a computer opponent is up and running. Now, the first expansion introduces many new elements to the basic gameplay I covered in my first video. If you've never played the physical card game Ascension, click the link here to watch my video covering the basics. Now, Return of the Fallen adds many new elements, such as the Fate keyword, which causes an effect to occur when a card enters the middle row, as you can see here from the Ravenous Gorf, or Ascara of Fate, here, where it states, when this enters the card row, each player may draw a card. Then there's also another effect called Trophies, which are a construct-like continuous effect that a monster produces after they're defeated. And then there's also Manipulation of the Void, such as bringing cards out of it, or bonuses when you send particular cards to it. Let's see here, Ascara of Fate, yes I will draw my card, thank you. Who doesn't like free cards? So, these new elements really start to give you an understanding of how vast the breadth of available game mechanics are in Ascension Online. And as a fan of the physical card game, which has already had 5 expansions, I can tell you there's lots of fun in store for this online version. So let's take a look here. We've got 5 resources. I'm going to take a Mystic and this Battery Monk, and then pass the turn. External Ascara is a really good card. So as I mentioned, here's an example of the Fate mechanic, and here's some more sort of manipulations that have been added. Like Eternal Ascara, where you banish a card and send a row, and if it's a monster, you gain 3. So there are effects where manipulating the middle row, as well as manipulating the void, are much more prevalent in this set. Let's see, so we're going to take an Ara Sensei, because that will help us reduce the number of base cards in our hand. Just want to get that as quickly as possible, as it's actually a goal to get rid of your original 10 cards. Let's draw this card. Ooh, this is actually really good. So, 2, 3, 4... What do we got? 5? Yep, so we're going to take Eternal Ascara. That gives us a lot of control over the middle row. And no, we're not going to play that extra card. So that was really good, because then you get 3 honor every time you play that and kill a monster with it. Okay, and you see another, the Fate. When this card enters the center row, banish all cards adjacent to it. So that's why you see a lot of more movement involved when one of those things hits the field. Now, let's see here. I'm going to take a Mystic. The Dandelion Witch is pretty good, especially as you start to build up more Lifebound heroes here. You can see it's a cumulative effect, but I need to get that good mana base out, that good rune base into my deck. So here's the Stone Circle, which is another Fate effect. When it enters the center row, each player may acquire a Mystic without paying its cost and put it on top of the deck. Yes, so I take one of those. Now, at this stage, I'm going to Eternal Ascara, and I'm going to take the... I'm going to kill off the Ravenous Gorf, so that way my opponent doesn't get that. And then 1, 2, 3, grab another Mystic. I can forego a little bit of power accumulation with like heavy infantry, because I've got that Eternal Ascara that gives me a lot of... control over the center row without having to actually build infantry. Now, here's the example of the trophy. Samael the Fallen is the big bad guy of the Return of the Fallen set. Return of the Fallen being named for him. And as you can see here, there's an ongoing trophy. So after you banish Samael, you get the 8 honor, and then whenever you defeat a monster in the center row, you acquire it as if it's a hero, and its defeating cost, you gain that equal in power whenever you play it from your deck. So here, I'm going to play out my Ara Sensei, which I banish a card in my hand, and then I get to pick a Mystic or Heavy Infantry and put it directly into my hand. So what I'm going to do is take this Death Seeker, and wow, then I'll take a Mystic and a Heavy Infantry. So every single card in this middle row is a monster, which is great because obviously I've got my sort of pick of the Eternal Ascara. Now, I'm going to be playing the Ascara, and I'm going to take the Sordid Asp, because here, if my opponent defeats this, then he gets to steal 2 from me. So I'm going to take that out. Make sure that that can't be used against me. And then play this off. I'll take 2 heavy infantry, because we need to get this moving, and I don't think my opponent has been building infantry at this stage. So it's going to sort of... Okay, good. Starts moving it along with the Ascara of Fate. So yeah, with the Ascara of Fate here, a lot more banishing cards in the center row. Yes, I'll draw my card from it. A lot more manipulation both of your hand and of the center row. And I'll pick this. Ooh, another Eternal Ascara. That's great. 3, 4, 5. Pick that up. And done. Don't need to play out that last apprentice. Another Ara Sensei. That's great coming through. So I can get rid of some of these apprentices. Now, there's a Doom Weeper here. So I'm going to Ara Sensei, take out an apprentice, and actually pull a heavy infantry with it, because that goes directly into my hand. And then when I kill this Doom Weeper, I get that that bonus. Here's another Fate effect. When this card enters the center row, each player may banish a card in their hand or discard pile. I have no cards in my discard pile, so that's why it's doing that. Now, I've got 2 runes currently. I'm actually going to take the opportunity to discard that apprentice, because I'm going to spend the 2 and take the Arbiter of Fate. Now, of course, the Blackwatch Elite is a fantastic Void hero. But I would have been able to get him even if I hadn't discarded my apprentice card, because he was behind, in effect, the previous card that I just picked up. So now here's the Hectic Scribe. Draw 2, then discard 2. So you're sort of not gaining cards, but it helps shuffle through your deck faster, which is great when you've got 2 Eternal Ascaras. Because nothing has 4 power, nothing is defeatable 4 power, I'm going to ditch both of my heavy infantries, play this Eternal Ascara, and I'm going to drop off Bazul. I don't want him around. Okay, and I get to draw another card. That's great. 2, 4, 6. Okay, I'm going to take the Socket Altar. Just get a big fat boost to my honor total at the end of the game. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I've got quite a hand next turn for runes. Okay, well, here... Oh, great! So here's what I mentioned about manipulation of the Void. Before, in the base set, you couldn't do anything with the Void cards. There was just nothing to do. Now with Sidranus, Dark Emissary, not only do you gain the 3 from him, but once per turn you defeat a monster in the Void as though it were in the center row. Now that is frighteningly powerful, and I will definitely take that. So, I mean, what you can do is just set up a massive amount of honor gain from that. Continually knocking something, you know, into the Void, and then knocking it back out into the center deck with that card. So, especially with the synergy with my Eternal Ascara, that means I can get quite a lot of use out of that. Okay, so speaking of, let's go ahead. I don't have any constructs, so I don't really need to ditch the Vault Breaker. So I'm going to kill off the Fire Tyrant. That ensures that my opponent can't use that. 2, 4, 5. Okay, so now I will kill a Vault Breaker Worm. Okay, and 1, 2. I really want to get Samael, so I'm going to do the Death Seeker. And the Death Seeker is one of the examples of another type of manipulation. When the Death Seeker is banished from your hand or discard pile, you gain 3. So these Death Seekers are great to try and void out right towards the end of the game, so you get that bonus to honor. Okay, yep. Ooh, I love the Blackwatch Elite. Such a good card. Looks like I've got a pretty hefty lead. The Climax is another Void Manipulator. Once per turn you can destroy it, and if you do, you acquire a Makana construct in the Void as though it were in the center row. Again, anything that allows you to discard from the center row has a lot of sort of interactions now. It's not just sort of, you know, discard it and forget about it forever. Okay, so Arbiter of Fate, and I will discard the Militia from my deck. Ooh, perfect. Okay, so here's 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to have 5 power this turn, which means that I can destroy up to a 5 power cost card in the Void because of Sidranus. So I'm probably just going to take a Vault Breaker Worm. So let's go ahead and play those out for 5. I don't mind leaving those cards out on the field. I'm going to kill off this Vault Breaker to make him take out one of his constructs. And then 2, 4. I really don't want to reveal much on this board, so what I'm actually going to do is go heavy military and take 2 heavy infantries. Because I think at this point I can just force a game to end quickly. Yep. Okay, so 2, 6. That's fine. He's revealing a whole bunch of stuff. Yep, I'll take a Mystic. Why not? And now here's another Eternal Ascara. So I'll be able to kill off one of these Vaultbreaker worms and gain some honor for it. Then I'll go ahead and kill off one of my apprentices and take a Mystic. And I've got, what, 5 to work with here? Because I want to force a game to go quickly, I'm going to take a Lunar Stag because that will allow me to either take Ruins or Honor. And then with a 2, I'll take another Heavy Infantry. I'd love to pick up the Samael the Fallen if at all possible. Now we're going to have a Socket Altar. Yep. Okay, so we've got 2, 4, 5. I'm going to go ahead and take the Stone Circle. That's got a good void cost on it. I mean, honor total. And let's go ahead and take... let's go ahead and cycle through our deck faster. Let's get the Battery Monk, kill off a Cultist, and proceed. We've seen already a lot of the really good new features of Return of the Fallen, the new keywords and whatnot, so this is good. Now we just want to end out strong with my against my opponent. So the Ascar of Fate here, I get to draw a card from it, and he eats up my construct, but I don't really care that much. Now, here is a great example where I'm going to scribe. I'm going to ditch a Mystic and a Mystic, because what I'm going to be able to do here is I'm going to Ara Sensei, and I'm actually going to discard one of my Mystics. Now, obviously, I lose an honor for that, but I'm going to pull a heavy infantry and be able to do 8 power because of it. So I'm going to take Samael the Fallen now, and this is going to be massive. Now, of course, we're almost at the end of the game, so I won't be able to use that ability that much, but obviously I had just a massive influx of honor from that. And let's see how my opponent ends his turn. Down to 2 honor. Let's see, is there anything that I want to banish? Yes, I'm actually going to banish this Death Seeker. So, perfect example. We're at 2 honor left, and when this is banished from my hand or discard pile, I gain another 3. So, I will gladly banish this off and gain that 3 honor, because I'm not going to get to see it again before the game is over. Okay, and let's see if there's anything else I can take. Right now, I'm just sort of picking up cheap cards, so I'll take the 1 and 1. There's a 5 and 4 black hole. Yes, let's go ahead and take the 5 and 4 black hole and reclimax. So this fate is when this enters the center row, each player may choose a construct in their discard pile and put it into their hand. So I will take, let's see here, so it's either the Socketed Altar or the black hole. Let's take the black hole. Play that out. Oh wait, pick the wrong construct. And 2, I'll just take a heavy infantry and end. Oh well. And there we go. Very fast game. When you have some of these effects in your deck, these new effects, here you can see that I got 95 honor, so pretty good victory. Pretty significant against my opponent, who looks like he just couldn't really get started. As you could tell, as soon as I realized that it was a good time to rush, my 2 Eternal Ascaras plus my Sadronis just really closed out the match fast, and then obviously getting rid of that Death Seeker just gave me that fantastic bump right at the end, and taking Samael the Fallen gave me a huge 8 honor that just really closed it out. So, as you can see, the mechanics added in new Ascension sets really improves the depth of gameplay, and Ascension Online is set to make this fantastic game even more easily accessible to a massive audience. Of course, as Ascension Online is still in closed beta, I'll continue to provide coverage on all the improvements and additional systems that are implemented as they come around. So if you like this video, please click the like button, let a friend know about Ascension Online, and take the time to subscribe to my channel. And, as always, I'm MSB, wishing you good games and good times.